Mum, thank you so much for coming on. I think this one's going to be a bit of an emotional one because it's not nice to hear about the hurt I've put family members through in the past, but I think it's really important that people hear how much addiction can ruin people's families, and especially close family. So thank you for coming on and sharing a bit about what it was like, to be honest.
We had a pretty standard family life, 2 kids. We both worked, your dad and I, and just did the best we could for you children. I was at home most of the time. I didn't get any full-time roles until you were much older. So in the early years, I was there all the time. As you got older, I got part-time jobs, but we were just the normal, if you could call it a normal family.
Yeah.
Just doing our best for our kids and just like everybody else, really.
Yeah. And what was it like and how did you kind of see me fall into addiction and fall into like that chaos? When did you first start to see it progress and pick up?
Well, when you were younger, I mean, you were a delight. You were a good boy, always good reports, everything. I suppose I didn't really notice, not a problem as such, because I know that you've said that addiction started for you at 13, but I never saw that. In your last year at school, we had a few problems with you. You always wanted to be everyone's best friend, and that was to the detriment of your education, really. And going to school for parents' evening was never a fun time for me. And your dad, your dad tried to get out of it all the time. But we just thought that, that was normal growing up. Your brother was slightly easier. But then I suppose when you got to an age where you could drink, we never stopped you drinking at an earlier age. You would go to parties, but we would always know exactly what you were taking, and we would sort of limit that and keep an eye on it. And we used to say to you, if you ruin this, you'll ruin it completely. But I suppose once you turned 18 and you were driving then as well, to a certain degree, we didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
There were times when you were drunk and obviously times when you were sick and things like that. But I can honestly say that, up until you were 18, it wasn't a huge issue.
No.
I suppose things started going downhill after that, really. I was thinking about it the other night, thinking about when I suppose things got really bad. And I suppose that was around about 2018, 2019, when I noticed, I would have maybe washed something and there would be a bag in the washing machine or something like that. But it would always be someone else's fault. Oh, I did this, I hid it for someone and blah, 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 and just things like that all the time. But then, we started to see the cracks, that maybe it wasn't just alcohol, it was drugs as well. And, you don't want to think that it's your son, and you keep thinking, oh no, it must be something else, it must be something else. And then eventually you have to just think, right, this is happening and what are we going to do about it? And it's just heartbreaking, because you haven't come from that background, and things are so different now. When your dad and I were growing up, we never saw drugs. We went out and had a few drinks, but it's just a completely different world now. And unfortunately, you were sucked into that world, and it's not nice, to be honest. It's not a nice place to be.
Right, Mum. I'll give you a different club.
You'll give me a different club?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dad been giving you some tips?
No.
No tips?
No.
He's going to love this.
This is all my own work.
Right. You remember how to hold it and that, yeah?
Have I got a link like that?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So
like square the club up a little bit like that.
Right, so I need to keep my eye on the ball.
Yeah.
And swing.
Swing back and through.
God.
Come on. You got this.
can't do it.
I don't know who's worse, you or Georgia, to be honest.
Me, probably. At least you had a bit of practice. Oh, for goodness sake.
Come on, Mum.
Going, so, I'm so sorry, everybody.
There you go. Look at that. You're nearly on the green then.
32 yards.
That's fine though, because it was only a short one.
Oh, okay.
So, wow.
Oh, 6 yards. Rubbish, Kieran.
I've absolutely chunked it. Kieran won't be putting that on. Not if he wants his monthly invoice paid. What was the hardest part about trying to support me, but also like protecting yourself emotionally?
Well, my feelings didn't really come into it, to be honest. It was awful. You know, waking up in the morning and wondering what kind of day it was going to be. That was horrendous. That's all I can say. You would go to sleep, you'd wake up in the morning and you'd open your eyes and you think, oh, God, you know, how am I going to deal with this day? What is he going to be like? Is he going to get up for work? Because that was a big thing. Oh no, I'm not getting up for work. Or you would be staying at your cousin's and then I would be trying to get hold of you and you wouldn't answer your phone. And then I'd phone your cousin. She'd say, "Oh, you're still in bed. You're not very well." And it was just devastating. It was devastating for me. I just thought, what am I going to do? What can we do about this? And so my feelings were just pushed to the side. I just had to get up and get on with it. I mean, and then it was just, as well as that going on, you know, we had other things going on with your grandparents and things like that. And I look back now and I think I don't really know how I coped. But you have to cope because it's there and you think, well, I'm not going to give in to this. I've got to just get on and do the best I can, which is, it's just so hard because most of the time I just wanted to put my hands around your neck and throttle you. But I couldn't do that, unfortunately. It's just hard. You just think, what is going on? Why can't you see what you're doing to yourself?
Yeah.
And to see your baby that you've nurtured doing something that just is completely alien to you and alien, obviously, to your dad, was just the most frustrating and awful thing to go through, you know. And for me, I was probably the stronger one out of me and your dad, and I tried to, as much as I could, shield your dad for some of the things that I saw. So, you know, I just tried to protect everyone, and that's what I was trying to do, protect you from what other people were perhaps saying about you and how people may have felt about you, because in there I knew that it was my son. And as much as I wanted to throw you out, or Dad's, you know, it was very yin and yang. Dad sometimes wanted to just throw you out, and then I was the voice of reason saying, no, what will he do if we throw him out? And then the opposite. I was like, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. And your dad would be like, well, I'm sorry, we've got to stick with this. And so I suppose it was never really an option for us. And I remember one of the counsellors saying, I don't know whether you remember that, how lucky you were, because a lot of people would just throw their kids out. Yeah. And that was never an option, really.
And I look at that today and I think how it didn't end up. I see loads of people in recovery now and they like come in from being homeless or sleeping on the streets or being in wet houses and hostels and I just think to myself how lucky I was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard because I spoke to you about it before and we talk about it quite a lot, like you never will understand.
No,
you never will understand what's going on and what addiction is and why I done it. But I think over time you could see that, and I'd say to you, I really don't want to do it again, Mum. I promise I won't do it again. I promise I won't do it again. And I meant that. I meant every single word I say to you. Like I didn't want to do it again.
No.
But I had the power of addiction that every time I woke up, every time I opened my eyes, it was just, that was the first thought, and that thought wouldn't go until
Yeah.
I'd picked that drug up. And it's horrendous, because I used to, amount of times I'd stand in front of you and watch you cry your eyes out in front of me and just believe that it was going to not happen again.
Yeah.
Like the amount of drug tests we'd done in the past. And
It was just, that the times when you would say you were going out. I mean, I tried all sorts. In lockdown, I thought, yes, this is going to be it for me. I could be able to keep him in. He won't be able to go anywhere. I remember taking your phone away, even taking your truck keys away. But it still was there. And it was just, if I could have locked you in, I would have done it.
but it was a matter of time, wasn't it? It worked for a period.
It did, but
And
it
then
was
as
just...
soon as I was allowed back out, it was...
And the lies that you hear, or the promises, I owe money. Can I have some money? I mean, the people that we paid off was just, you, fair play to you, you've paid it all back now. I wasn't going to let you get away with it, but it was just awful. And coming in at night, you would come in and you'd either pretend to be on the phone so that you could go upstairs so you wouldn't see us, but we knew, or Dad would call you back and you'd stand there and you'd go, what it's like we were stupid.
Yeah.
You could just see straight away you were absolutely out of it.
Yeah.
And you just think, you think, what can I do to make you realise?
Yeah.
Your dad was just, he was heartbroken. And that was the thing I found hardest, is to see how upset he was. Yes, there were times when I did think that things would never change. We one night I remember going out at like 1 o'clock in the morning because we couldn't, you'd gone out saying that you weren't going to be long, hadn't come back. And luckily, which is one thing I will say, you always let me have a trace on your phone, which sometimes was awful, but other times, that night, I had to say to your dad, we're going to have to go out and find you. And we went to the seediest pub in Southampton, and you were sat there with people you didn't even know, just drinking and just to get that fix, I suppose. And I didn't go into the pub. Dad went in and dragged you out. And that was a real, real low point for me. A real low point.
On top of the hospital trip as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and then the time that I got a call from Molly to say, Kieran's in a hospital. I've got no idea where he is, but I know he's in a hospital. So I phoned the A&E department and they said that you'd been brought in, you'd been punched. And so I went straight over to the hospital and found you. But you did not have a clue what had happened. And the police wanted to press charges. And you said to me, I can't do that because I might have instigated it. And you just were so out of it that you just had no clue, A, what had happened preceding the punch, and also after the punch. You didn't know. And I thought, I don't think I can live like this. I can't continue like this. But those were the really low points. It's awful as a parent to see it. It's awful.
There we go, look.
Well, you make it look so easy.
Your turn now to make it look super easy.
If I can hit it.
This one's almost like you're putting, Mum. All right?
Okay.
So literally just...
So where's my ball?
Your ball's here
Okay, yeah.
and the pin's there.
Okay.
So you literally have to just go, all right?
Okay.
Don't swing it back too far.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah. Right. Is that square enough?
Yeah. So just really step.
Oh.
I thought it'd be easy.
Can't hit it.
Keep your eye on it. Oh, stay on the green. Oh, no.
Oh,
Do you know what
no,
that
making
means?
it
Don't you?
worse.
You're going to have to go again.
Oh, no, am I?
Yeah. Put the ball in between your feet.
Yeah.
See, it's perfect. All you've got to do is just keep your eye on the ball and hit it. You'll be all right. That's the hard part for you, Mum, isn't
Make it sound really easy. Right, ready?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a bonus that comes out of Mum. It didn't register
no,
it, so,
good. Yeah, but that means I've
so
got
it
to
doesn't
try.
count.
Oh, God. Get this torture over.
This is your favourite part of it. There you go. Right. Move that way a little bit. There you go.
Right.
Perfect. It's on that. Yes, on the green first time. For bird. Oh, it's making you part.
I remember the phone call, you saying, look, I've been watching some bits on social media about CA and I'm going to go. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I could never really get excited about it because I've been there so many times. And to hear you the next day, you know, phone me, or I think you actually phoned me on the way home after you'd been there, and you were just elated by what had happened, you know, that, you know, just, and also I think that we all have the misconception that when you go to these meetings, these people are going to be like down and outs, and I think probably that was a lot of what you thought as well, but you weren't, and you with like-minded people, you know, like you said, people that have been in high-powered jobs that were now in recovery, and I think that made you think, you know, I think I can do this, and it was great. Obviously, for me, I'm always very guarded because it's always in your mind that things could just change, you know, on the flip of a coin. But it was the first time I felt hopeful.
Yeah.
I really felt hopeful.
And I think that's for me as well. When I phoned you, I thought, I never thought that anything that I've tried before would work for me. And it's like finding that, I remember walking in there and going like, I think I might get it this time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it did feel hopeful because there's people in that room that shared their stories to me and told me where they'd come from and where they are now. And I was like, you've told my story, you've been where I've been, and now you're clean. And it was the first time ever I thought that maybe I could get away from this horrible disease, and it was the start of things to come. Obviously, you said like I did get a little bit of clean time before, and it got whipped away, and I went back out there and 10 times worse than I probably was when 4 I went in. But thankfully today I don't want to go back there. I don't think I can go back there. I don't think I'll be honest, I don't think I've got another use in me. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I could get through it again. Just the pain, the destruction, and the pain it causes everyone else is just, in the darkness and the misery of addiction. It's so hard to speak to someone who firstly has never took a drug in his life, never took a drink in his life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to relate. I used to speak to this guy, and yes, he helped me in some areas of my life, but he didn't understand what I suffered from.
No.
I'd be telling him what I was thinking, and he'd be like, yeah, try this or try that, and I'd be like, it's not working for me. And now I believe, and I've said this before, like therapy is a massive part and helped me a lot since coming and getting clean, but I had to get my head straight before I could even speak about my feelings, because I didn't understand and I didn't register anything that was going on, because I didn't have time to think about it, because by the time I had a thought or feeling in my head, I'd use and it would be gone.
Yeah.
It'd be all I could think about was drinking and using, and any thoughts and feelings I had was just masked by that.
Yeah.
So it's hard to talk about something or talk about how I felt mentally when all I was doing is just continually masking myself with drink and drugs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think that the first time I actually felt like I had a little glimmer of hope was that night when I phoned you, I think.
Yeah, that and I mean, and then that progressed to going to the church as well, which like for us, we weren't, although I was in the church choir when I was younger and stuff like that, it wasn't something that was part of our lives before, but has become a huge part of your life now, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
It's been fantastic, you know, the support that you've had from the particularly Georgia at the church, but also the wider congregation has been brilliant.
coming from an atheist kind of background, it was strange.
Your dad, not me.
Yeah, come from such an like atheist background, and myself, I used to be a massive atheist. So coming into Christianity, where none of the rest of my family are Christians, I thought was going to be difficult. But again, like, you've supported me through that, and I think you support me through that because you think if anything's helping Kieran,
I will do it.
Just get
I
on and
will
do
do
it.
it.
Just get on and do
Absolutely,
it.
absolutely. I will. Yeah, bring it on.
What would you say to a parent whose child is struggling with addiction? What would your advice be?
To stick with it. You've got to stick with it. You can't give up on them. You know, there's so many times where we just wanted to walk away, but the thought of you just that being your life and not fulfilling all the things that you could possibly do, you know, it's not an option. It is the most heartbreaking time to see that little child that you've spent so many years bringing up and doing the best for and giving them the best things, to do the most stupid thing is just awful. You have just got to stick with it. You really have. And, you know, you have to go with your gut as well, because people will tell you not to do things. Or, you know, I remember a woman from the support group saying to me, you mustn't pay people off, you know, dealers and things like that. But I couldn't, because what you're doing then is you're enabling them, because you are then paying off their debt. They then can get more drugs based on the fact that you've paid before. But for me, that was never, I couldn't do that, because the fear of someone coming and beating you up, or, you know, doing all sorts to you, we couldn't do that. Me and your dad, that was never an option. We were always there to pull you out or to pay off whoever we had to, which I just hated. I wanted to smash everybody's face in. But you have to go with how you feel, and lots of people will tell you what to do, but you have to do what you feel is right for your child, because you are, however old you are, you're still our child. But it can be the most awful time in your life. So, you know, that...
Strap in.
Yeah, really strap in, yeah.
Yeah. Mum, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's never nice going back into that, and it's not from my side of things. Like, I know what I've done wrong. I've kind of done a lot of work around accepting that I can't change the past. But the hardest thing for me is hearing it come from you.
But what I will say is, you make us proud every single day now. You know, all of that work and all of that heartache has gone, and we've got our son back. And for me now to see you with your dad, with your brother, doing all of the things that you should be doing, and being the person that I always knew you were. We always knew you were. We've got our son back.
We have indeed. Thank you so much. God, it's so close. Got nearly to the end without crying. That was great.
It was a kiss. Right, now this is the worst part now.